So till now we finished last four text 1 to 4, which is like which defines about the sadhana bhakti primarily, and it also talks about how a devotee, what devotee does, what he doesn't do, what he avoids, and how he associate with other devotees. Now, same thing of sadhu sangha continues in the text number 5, where in this it talks about uh, different factors which one devotee has to see. So if you see, let's start the shlok. We'll recite the shloka. You might not recite the shloka, but once again, since the beginning, we'll recite the shloka. कृष्णेति यस्य गिरितं मनसाद्रियेत दीक्षास्ति चेत प्रणतिभिश्च भजन्तमीशम् शुश्रूषया भजन विघ्नम् अनन्य अन्य निन्दादिशून्यर्दमिप्सित संगलभ्या. One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to a devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deities. And one should associate with and faithfully serve the pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and those and whose heart is completely devoid of propensity to criticize others. So if you see in this verse, few words are very important. Shushrushaya, see the in the shloka, Shushrushaya is one word which is coming. Now Prabhupada translates the word Shushrushaya as by practical service. Sometimes we feel that Shushrushaya, one of the meaning is, there are many acharyas also give a different meaning. Shushrushaya means hearing from, that's also Shushrushaya, or serving under, that is also Shushrushaya. So basically, Prabhupada is saying Shushrushaya means that has to be a practical active service for a devotee. It can be hearing from him, it can be serving him also, or serving under him, getting trained under him. As Shushrushaya is the beginning. Next word Prabhupada, the next word Rupa Goswami using is after Shushrushaya is Bhajana Vignam. What is Bhajana Vignam means? One who is advanced in devotional service. Now, who's Shushrushaya? Bhajana Vignam. One who is advanced in the devotional service. Now, how do we understand? Who is who is uh, who is advanced in devotional service? For that, Rupa Goswami is giving us a parameter. Ananyam. What is Ananya means? Means without deviation. One is without deviation continuing the process of bhakti. And the next most important thing, what he's saying, which that devotee should have is Anya Ninda Adi Shunya. He's not saying little less. ठीक है थोड़ा चल जाएगा नहीं शून्य. Blasphemy of others is shunya. Completely, he is completely devoid of blasphemy of others. And such a person is ipsita sangalabhya. Such a person association one should look for. Just a bhajana vigyam, he should be bhajana vigyam and anya ninda adi shunyam. The two features one should have. For such a devotee, one should look for such devotee. That's what Prabhupada is saying. And now, just specifically in this purport, and there will be a lot of discussion happening about Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Kanishta Adhikari. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita also discusses about these three levels. Now, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, they have different parameters which have been utilized for the dividing this devotees in three categories. Now, what are different parameters which are utilized for defining the level of who is Madhyam, who is Kanishta, who is Uttam? Now, one of the primary parameters we use is faith of a person. Like the Uttam Adhikari is someone who has very strong faith in the scriptures. Even if he comes across a person who is faithless, he comes across a person who is who is critical toward the scriptures, he himself will, he'll kind of, moreover, he'll kind of defend. He can, his faith is very strong. Madhyamadikari, Madhyamadikari's case, his faith will not get disturbed, but he'll not able to convince the person. He'll not able to kind of refute the person. That requires then there comes second parameter. First parameter is a faith. Second parameter is knowledge. So knowledge means spiritual knowledge. Knowledge means scriptural knowledge. That's why if you see the Shraddha, there is one thing, there are two types of Shraddha. One is Laukika Shraddha, Shraddha coming because of family traditions, because of, because someone has said that I should do it, that's why I do it. That's Laukika Shraddha. And then there is Shastriya Shraddha. I am doing this because Shastras talk about it, because Shastras are saying that we should have this. Very essential and very important. And because of Shastra saying it, I am doing it. That Shraddha is Shastri Shraddha. Now, if suppose someone has Laukika Shraddha, this Laukik Shraddha will be, that may not help him to advance in Krishna consciousness. So gradually, for all of us, we have to see any activity what I'm doing in Krishna consciousness. Just a minute. Hare Krishna. So where were we? I'm sorry. We're talking about knowledge part. Now I was talking about Shraddha. So Shastri Shraddha. So basically, one has to transcend himself to Shastri Shraddha. Till the time person is kind of, is at the level of Lokika Shraddha, then that will not help him to advance in Krishna consciousness. So for that advancement in Krishna consciousness, one has to, that means we require Shastra Adhyan. Like for example, the course of Bhakti Shastri, what all of us were doing. The purpose of that is to increase our knowledge, spiritual knowledge. With the help of this knowledge, that will help us to boost our Shraddha, that is Shastri Shraddha. And then once Shastri Shraddha comes, then it becomes easy for such a person to accept the injunction given in the Shastras. That's why one has to spend good times. That's why Prabhupada, at many multiple occasions, Prabhupada has made this statement that Prabhupada said that one should at least read his books. One place is 2 hours, some places is 1 hour. But basically, point is that at least sometime of the day we should take out so that we can read Srila Prabhupada's Bhaktivedanta purports, which is our lifeline, which is the one of the most important contribution of Srila Prabhupada to all of us. Because when we read Srila Prabhupada, then as he being our founder acharya, then our mood and mission, what he wants us to have, will be in place. Otherwise, if we get stuck up with many of the other acharyas, they are very nice, books are very essential, very important. Along with that, if you see other acharyas, that should be read or no, that should be done after we go through Srila Prabhupada purports. Then because that should be our basis, that should be the primary thing, and then other things should be extra. Just like we have rice, dal, savi, chapati, which is our basic meal, and then we have chutney, papad, which is like additional. So these acharya commentaries can be considered as chutney or some achar or maybe some papad, which can be utilized for enhancing our uh, our taste, and that can basically help us to develop more deeper faith on Prabhupada, that Prabhupada has given us everything. That should be the goal of Shastric study of other acharyas. Now let's venture to the purport. Prabhupada is saying, in order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocation mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper person with careful discrimination. This is very important statement. One must select proper person with careful discrimination. We can't associate this indiscriminately. Now, if you see, as we're discussing about these three adhikaris, Kanishta adhikari is one. One of the other things which is mentioned about this Kanishta adhikari. Acha, I'm sorry. I just missed this point. I'll come back to this point, and then we will again come back to the purport. So I was saying parameters of different this levels. One parameter I said was faith. Second parameter is knowledge, and the third parameter is standard of practice. Standard of practice. What this person is practicing. So based on these three parameters, we have Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. Now, when you talk about standard of practice, what does that mean? It means quality of chanting. It means zeal for propagating holy name of the Lord. Hmm. So first parameter I told of faith, second is knowledge, and third thing is about the standard of practice, where I told 2 points in the standard of practice. One is quality of the chanting of such a person, and his zeal for propagating the holy name of the Lord, basically preaching. So based on that, we can understand who is Madhyam, who is Kanishta, who is Uttam. So with this, let's begin with the purport. So Prabhupada is making a statement that how one has to select proper person with careful discrimination. One can't. So that's why if we see that one shloka which comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, where it ends by saying Sa eva gokhara. आपने सुना होगा श्लोका वो स एव गोखर कुणपे त्रिधातु के where he says that how once consider that this body is made with three dhatus kapha vata pitta, and then he says that when he thinks that okay, I am born from this part of the maybe world, that's I'm Indian, I am Maharashtrian, whatever. Anyone who thinks like that, such a person's intelligence is compared to the gokhara, like an intelligence of a cow or an ass. Srimad Bhagavatam second canto says this. So why he says this? Because one of the feature of cow is cow. If suppose the calf dies, sometime what the farmer will do, it will remove the inside bones and everything of this calf, fill that calf with sawdust, and he'll keep the same calf near the cow. So daily the cow will feel okay, my calf has come. Now that will lick the calf, dead calf, and continue giving milk. Another feature can be also seen with cow is cow can indiscriminately eat water consumption. That's why many times when they do surgery, they find a lot of plastic in the stomach of the cow. It's indiscriminate. And khara, khara is uh, the word khara. I just remember there's a nice commentary by Harishuri, one of the great commentators on Srimad Bhagavatam. So he says he compares khara with khala. Khara is a donkey, and khala are ruffians, bad people. So basically, this khara donkey, why the example gives in the comes in shloka, because khara, one of the names of donkey is Baisakha Nandan. You know this? One of the other name of donkey is Baisakha Nandan. Why? Because whenever rains are there, a lot of grass is there. Because see, in rains now we are rainy season. You see everywhere there's green. So when our this donkey eats grass in the rainy season, he feels he eats something sometime, and then he looks around. Oh, so much of grass is there. I could not eat anything. I ate so less, and that's why the donkey remains very thin in the rainy season. And when Vaisak comes, when the whole thing become dry, the grass become dry, and then this donkey when he eats the grass, because already because dryness, maximum there is no grass, very little grass is there. And when this donkey eats little grass, and he thinks when he looks around, he thinks, "Sorry, I ate so much of grass, whole ground I ate." है So by that feeling, this donkey becomes very fat. That's why it's called Vaisakha Nandan. That's why this slogan says that how this cow and donkey, they're not able to discriminate between the situation. So basically, for us, this careful discrimination is very important. If you see any of these features happening, where Prajalpa is happening, where Anya Ninda is happening, where people are not very serious about bhakti, that means such association should be avoided. That's what it is mentioned here. We'll continue. One has to discriminate and have proper association. So such association should be uplifting, should be encouraging, should be taking us ahead on the path of devotional service. Should not increase our because okay we are friends because okay our anathas match and that's why we're together. Anna. I had liking for movies and he has liking for movies, so let's go for movie together. If that's a liking, that's a problem. But now, because of mercy of some devotees, we have Maha Avatar Narsimhadev. If you're liking for Narsimhadev, that's a different thing. Okay, let's go ahead. Sri Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way, according to their particular status. You know that Vaishnava song in which Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Deo Ye Dase Yog. So there one line comes where he says that how one has to give respect to everyone yatha yatha, according to his level. Like for a guru, we should not give respect like when what we give for a new devotee. And for new devotee, we should not give respect like a guru. The discrimination we should have. Should know what is the level of person, accordingly we should. According to status, according to spiritual status, we should offer him respect. That's what this verse also says. In this verse, he tells us how to deal with three types of devotees: the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. Now, Prabhupada is going to mention the symptoms of this Kanishta Adhikari. The Kanishta Adhikari is a neophyte who has received initiation, the Harinam initiation from a spiritual master, is trying to chant the holy names of Krishna. So, what are the features of Kanishta Adhikari or Kanishta Vaishnava? He has received Harinam initiation from a spiritual master, trying to chant the holy names of Krishna. So, for such a person, one should respect such a person within his mind as a Kanishta Vaishnava. Prabhupada is saying it. A Madhyamadikari has received spiritual initiation from the spiritual master and has been fully engaged by him in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The Madhyamadikari should be considered to be situated midway in the devotional service. The Uttamadikari or the highest devotee is one who has a who is very advanced in devotional service. Number one. Number second is not interested in blaspheming others. Number three, his heart is completely clean. And number four, he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. You got these points here? Uttam Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, Kanishta Adhikari. Kanishta Adhikari, there are two features. Neophyte is receiving Harinam initiation from a guru. And number second, trying to chant the holy names of Krishna. This is a qualification of a Kanishta Vaishnava. Madhyam Adhikari, spiritual initiation from the spiritual master is initiated. Now, this initiation is like second initiation in our context. Second initiation. Fully engaged by him in the transcendental devotional service of the Lord. Serving devotees and deities both. And the Uttam Adhikari, what are the symptoms? Very advanced in devotional service, not interested in blaspheming others, heart is completely clean, and he has attained the realized state of unalloyed Krishna consciousness. These are four symptoms for someone who is a Uttam Adhikari. And what Rupa Goswami is saying, the association service of such Mahabhagavad or perfect Vaishnava are most desirable. So basically, according to this, definitely, when he's saying that for Kanishta Adhikari is saying he is initiated by spiritual master. That means he's first initiated. That is the first initiation for us. Now, from here onwards, Prabhupada will be describing uh, different levels. And these three levels will describe in more detail, piece by piece. Okay. One should not remain in the Kanishta Adhikari, remain a Kanishta Adhikari. One should not remain a Kanishta Adhikari, one who is situated in the, on the lowest platform of devotional service and is interested only in worshiping the deity in the temple. You see, sometimes in temple hall, Bhagavatam class is going on, and some people they come to temple hall, they go straight to the altar, offer pranams there, they go straight out from the temple. It is a classic example for they are only interested in the deities, the only interest is deities. They don't see that they are devotees sitting and discussing Hari Katha. I should sit, I should hear, let me understand, let me learn. So when that kind of inquisitive not is there, not is not there, that means that such a person is has a at a Kanishta Adhikar level. So now Prabhupada is giving reference from 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam, where a definition of Kanishta Adhikar is given. Archayam eva haraye pujam yah shraddhayan yanhate न तद भक्तेषु चान्येषु सबक्त प्राकृत स्मृता. A person who is very faithfully know how to behave towards devotees or people in general is called a prakrita bhakta or kanishta adhikari. So it's just now see again when you are reading all these definitions and parameters, please this is not for us to judge others. This is for us to judge our own selves. See where we are. Now, suppose if we have this feature that we are when it comes to deities we are very respectful. When it comes to devotees we don't know how to deal. We should learn the art of dealing and interacting with devotees and serving them and pleasing them. I think so. I previously quoted the story of Ramanujacharya also. When Ramanujacharya had come uh, to one of the place to his disciples' house, he did not came. He sent his disciples and told, "So you go and tell that rich disciple that I am coming at this place." And then that rich disciple, he became so excited that Guru Maharaj is coming. He forgot everything, and he could not even cater the devotees were there, and he just started making all the preparation for Guru Maharaj to come. His two disciples they went back and so Ramacharya asked them, "So how did he treat you?" So Guru Maharaj became so happy to know that you are coming. He forgot to ask us also about for prasad or anything else. Ramacharya said, "No, I'll not go to his house. Go to that poor disciple's house and tell him that I am coming." Then they go to the poor disciple's house, and the poor disciples he welcomes his devotees and gives them place, some water, some sweet words. And then when he comes, no, Guru Maharaj is coming, really? Okay, really, when is coming? He said, not at plan, will come. That's fine. Guru Maharaj will come, but now you are here. Please accept some prasad, whatever little I have for you. So Ramacharya is very pleased with this disciple and he decides to come at his place. Similarly, we can say like one thing here, we saw that how this person has only connection with the deities in the temple. In terms of Guru, we can say Kanishta Adhikari can also be said as he has only connection with Guru and no one else. When Guruji will come to temple, he'll come running. Before Guruji and after Guruji comes and goes, he will never be seen in temple. That's also a sign that person is not yet, is still in the Prakrita Smrta, Prakrita Bhakta, is still a Kanishta Adhikari because his only connection is Guru with no one else. He don't know how to deal with devotees. One therefore has to raise himself from the position of Kanishta Adhikari platform, the Madhyam Adhikari. The Madhyam Adhikari describes Srimad Bhagavatam in the following way. ईश्वरे तत् अधीनेषु बालिशेषु द्विशिष्टु स च प्रेम मैत्री कृपा उपेक्षा स करोति स मध्यमा. Madhyamaka is a devotee who worships the Supreme Lord as a highest subject of love, makes friends with Lord's devotees, is merciful to the ignorant, and avoids those who are envious by nature. Such a person is called actually Madhyamadhikari. Now, just one more clarification I want to say. Madhyama, Uttama, Kanishta, it's not a demarcated thing. 0-1 में काम नहीं होता यहाँ पे, है ना? ठीक है, अभी मैं कनिष्ठ हूँ, अभी मैंने ये कर लिया तो मैं उत्तम, मैं मध्यम बन गया, ऐसा नहीं होता है. There are grades in this, just like we are कनिष्ठ, तो कनिष्ठ में 3 लेवल है. कनिष्ठ कनिष्ठ एज द लोएस्ट, कनिष्ठ मध्यमा एंड कनिष्ठ उत्तम. ये कनिष्ठ का हो गया 3 टाइप्स. वैसे मध्यम का, मध्यम में कनिष्ठ, मध्यम कनिष्ठ, मध्यम मध्यम, मध्यम उत्तम. एंड सेम थिंग विथ उत्तम आल्सो. उत्तम कनिष्ठ, उत्तम मध्यम एंड उत्तम उत्तम, है ना? तो लाइक दैट इट गोस. So we saw the symptoms of a Madhyam Adhikari. Now let's continue ahead. This is a way to cultivate devotional service properly. Therefore, in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami has advised us how to treat various devotees. We can see from practical experience that there are different types of Vaishnavas. The Prakriti Sahajiyas generally chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, yet they are attached to woman, money, and intoxication. So anyone is chanting Hare Krishna and parallelly doing all these activities, they can be called as, you know, uh, Kanishta Adhikari. Although such person may chant the holy names of the Lord, they are not yet properly purified. Such people should be respected within one's mind, but their association should be avoided. Those who are innocent but simply carried away by bad association should be shown favor if they're eager to receive proper instruction from pure devotees. But those neophyte devotees who are actually initiated by this bona fide spiritual master and are seriously engaged in carrying out the orders of spiritual master should be offered respectful obeisances. थोड़ा सा प्रभुपाद एक अलग अलग स्टेप्स में बोल रहे हैं अभी. Initially he said anyone who is initiated, he is a Kanishta Adhikari. Correct? Huh? But now it's going one step ahead saying there are two types. Someone can be a Prakrasarja when he's chanting Hare Krishna, but is attached to woman, money, and intoxication. Then he is actually a Kanishta. And he's saying someone initiated. A neophyte, he's a neophyte devotee who is actually initiated by bona fide spiritual master. But he's seriously trying to carry out his orders. And I'd like to tell you a very interesting statement. You might have heard these words many times that, empowerment. Yeah? So when empowerment occurs, so anyone wants to share? हम लोगों ने प्रभु जी ये प्रभु बहुत empowered है. Prabhupada was empowered Acharya, we say. So at what point this empowerment occurs for a living entity? Can anyone say on that?
You shared last time, Proj, I think,
Actually,
something.
that's
Yes, Proj. So you shared something like, uh, we know that we don't have the qualification, but still we endeavor with full enthusiasm. That time empowerment happens.
so this is a statement by His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. So Bhakti Tirth Maharaj says, when your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, yet you act without hesitation. When your desire to serve is beyond your capacity, yet you act without hesitation, that is the moment empowerment occurs. Amazing statement. Huh? This is one of the most amazing statement I heard from Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. Bhakti Tirth Maharaj was known as spiritual warrior. So why we're discussing all this thing is here that someone can be a neophyte devotee who is initiated by spiritual master, but is seriously trying to, he may, his mind may get diverted, but he again come back to the instruction of spiritual master. For such a person, we should offer him obeisances. We are seriously trying to overcome difficulties, seriously trying to follow the instructions of spiritual master. We have example of South Indian Brahman. With South Indian Brahman, he was reading Gita. And this Gita Brahman. So he was reading Gita. His spiritual master told him daily you should read Gita. But he was not very learned. So he was holding Gita, I think so he was holding reverse. He was crying. Not able to read also. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, when he came, he said, oh Brahmana, why you are crying? Reading this. He said, I can see the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna is so compassionate, is so kind. He has ready to become the charioteer of his devotee Arjun. To what degree Lord can make himself available, accessible for the devotees we can. Seeing the mercy aspect of Krishna, that's making me cry. Mahaprabhu embraced this Brahman and said, actually, you understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. There are many other Brahmins who are criticizing this Brahman for not reciting properly. They might have not understood, but you understood. That's what pleased Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why Prabhupada is saying ahead, in this Krishna conscious movement, the chance is given to everyone without discrimination of caste, creed, or color. Everyone is invited to join this movement. Sit with us, take prasad, and hear about Krishna. When we see that someone is actually interested in Krishna consciousness and want to be initiated, we accept him as a disciple for the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. When a neophyte devotee is actually initiated and engaged in devotional service by orders of spiritual master, he should be immediately accepted as a bona fide Vaishnava. And obeisance should be offered unto him. Out of many such Vaishnavas, one may be found to be very seriously engaged in service of the Lord, strictly following regular principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds on the japa beats, and always thinking of how to expand the Krishna conscious movement. Such a Vaishnava should be accepted as a Uttam Adhikari. Now, Prabhupada is giving a very practical, realistic definition of Uttam Adhikari. क्या क्या होना चाहिए इसमें? Seriously engaged in the service of the Lord, strictly following four regular principles, chanting the prescribed number of rounds, that is 16 rounds on the japa beats, always thinking of how to expand the Krishna conscious movement. I think such a person should be accepted as Uttam Adhikari. I have a question for all of you in this forum. Are we chanting 16 rounds daily? है ना? 16 माला हो रहा है. काउंटर बीट ऊपर से नीचे जा रहा है, नीचे से ऊपर जा रहा है 16, है ना? और हम लोग we are trying to strictly follow the regulatory principles, four regs. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex we're doing. है ना? And then we are whatever level we are trying to at our level seriously engage in the service of the Lord. And some of us may be preachers who are preaching Krishna consciousness, they may be thinking of how to expand Krishna consciousness movement. So according to Prabhupada, whoever is doing these four things should be considered as an Uttamadhikari. So I'm not going to ask for a hand raise, but you can answer, you can think about this question in your own hearts. How are we doing these four things in our life? Your engagement in the bhakti, your following four regs, your chanting prescribed number of rounds, and your thoughts about expanding Krishna conscious movement. If you have these things in your life, then Prabhupada is saying that such a person should be accepted as an Uttamadhikari and his association should be always sought. This also means when you are looking for associating with devotees, at least we can see these four things. Now see, for example, how someone is following four regular principles that we may not know visibly. Correct ना? Visibly पता नहीं चलेगा कि भाई ये सच में कर रहा नहीं कर रहा है. But at least if he's doing these other things which are visibly seen, he's regularly coming to temple, doing some services, trying to come as much as possible, trying to come for morning program, associating with devotees, chanting his rounds, and he's in whatever level possible. So he may be giving sometimes, some devotees may go for doing one-time program. Sometimes they may be coming to temple and meeting some, meeting new people and introducing them to Krishna consciousness, or introducing some of the people who are in our office, or in some cases in the school or colleges, wherever we are. Such person, I am just making a point that wherever we see such kind of sincerity and seriousness and no ulterior motive, such kind of places, we should look for such kind of devotee association that is favorable for our bhakti. And when we get when we take such association, then such association is going to actually help us to progress ahead on the path of bhakti. As a Prabhu is saying, and his association should be always be sought. We should look ahead, look for such association. And how the Prabhupada says ahead, the process by which a devotee become attached to Krishna, and describing Chaitanya Charitamrita. दीक्षा काले भक्त करे आत्मसमर्पण से ही काले कृष्ण तारे करे आत्मसम. Just imagine such an amazing shloka this is. Prabhupada is writing the translation. At the time of initiation, when a devotee fully surrenders to the service of the Lord, Krishna accepts him to be as good as himself. Means what? Can anyone tell us that? What is the meaning in this shloka? Krishna tare kare atmasam. Krishna is doing atmasam to someone. Means what? What is atmasam means?
Guruji,
Guru
Atmasamarpan.
is yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Sundari Subhadra Mataji was saying something.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. So, Atma Sam means Guru is not different from Krishna. So, when disciple surrenders to Guru, so he is surrendering to Lord himself.
Uh, I'll give an example. Maybe that will clarify the whole thing. Just imagine there's an orphan. Orphan is there, and there's one millionaire, a crorepati. Now he goes and he finds this orphan somewhere, and he accepts this orphan as his own son. That is the meaning of Atmasam. Atmasam means that Krishna now. That means what? When this boy is adopted by the whatever boy or girl, whatever is adopted by the millionaire or a crorepati, so he has the same riches as the father has. Father shares everything with him, whatever he's himself doing. Similarly, Krishna is going to share everything with us. That means his spiritual world. That means everything. Krishna, see now, till what time this father will continue to have his son? Till the time this son remains obedient to his father. Just imagine this adopted son, he is not obedient to his father. And the father says, Arey, he's going out using my money for wrong things. He's using this money for maybe breaking all the four regular principles. Ideally, today's society, people may have different way of doing, but ideally, traditionally, if such a person will kind of tell the son to leave, he'll not able to maintain such a son. He'll tell him to leave. That means if we want to, the more we remain as a obedient child of Krishna, the more we can experience the same riches what Krishna is giving us. The point we become rebellious, the point we become separate from Krishna and want to have our own program. Hmm? The very reason why we are in this material world because we wanted to have a separate program from Krishna. Yes, so Krishna created a play toy for us. It's like sometimes parents, when they see the child, he's not listening. I also want to cook. I also want to cook. And he says, parents क्या करते? छोटा सा kitchen बना के देते उसको. With some, some stove, some gas, something, some wet vessels, and he does something. He's working so hard, and he's going to cook his next meal. But then if we say ultimately for eating prasad or whatever eating his food, he has to come to his original father only. With his whatever Marathi this is भातुकलीचा खेळ है ना. So with this whatever child play he's doing there, he's not going that his hunger is not going to subside. So similarly, whatever we do in this world, nothing that is not going to subside and satisfy us unless and we go back to our original parent, that is Krishna. When he can feed us, then when he gives us, then actually we'll be really satisfied. Otherwise, things of this world they'll make us temporary satisfaction we'll get, but we'll again end up being dissatisfied. That's why that orphan, when adopted by the millionaire, that's what happened during initiation. It's a guru who becomes a guarantor during diksha. Why guru is very significant? Because on our behalf, guru tells to Krishna that, my dear Krishna, I know this person is unqualified, but I am his guarantor. Like when you go to a bank for taking loan, they say who's a guarantor. In case you don't pay no loan, who's going to pay your loan? Then there is some person who signs as a guarantor for that loan. And similarly, Guru makes that sign with Krishna. It's like a what they say, uh, an agreement. And Diksha is like agreement. What is the agreement? So Guru says, my dear Krishna, actually this devotee, I am training this devotee. This devotee is very nice, good devotee. But in case he's not able to follow anything, then I am the one who should be held responsible for this or what a wrong he is doing. So when you're taking initiation, one has to be very, very careful. One can't indulge into sinful activities after getting initiated. Because the entire karma for that goes to the spiritual master. He has to suffer for us. Because he has guarantee when you take initiation in front of deities, in front of fire, in front of Vaishnavas, in front of Guru, that's the time when that agreement happens. And in that case, we don't follow, then we are actually They seen the life of our spiritual master in a way that by giving our own bad karma. That's why Diksha is very one of the very, if you see in other sampradayas, Diksha, other sampradaya I mean to say is who are non-bona fide sampradayas or other, apart from, four sampradayas. For them, Diksha is something like, you just sit, sometimes they have a mango leaves and the kalash and they sprinkle water and you are initiated. During this, our Prayagraj Kumbh Mela, I think so there was one person who initiated, I think something like 5 or 6 lakh of Nagababas. But if you see Vaishnava Diksha, very important thing is that the Guru is one who actually is, he has a very vital role. So we require Guru, and that too we require living Guru. Like we can't say like Ritviks that okay, we can take from Prabhupada, then for that reason we can take from Rup Goswami also. Why only Prabhupada? Go up, take from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, directly from Ishwara Puri, or you can take from Krishna also. So this basically the Ritvikism is modern day Mayavad. That's why it is so much condemned. That's what they say we can take from Prabhupada, we are disciple of Prabhupada, but then Guru is one actually, if you see traditionally, Guru is someone who can hold the ears of a disciple and catch him by the ears and tell him that he's wrong. Why people want to take from Prabhupada or apparently so-called previous acharyas, because they are not going to come down to correct them. It's so easy also to say, okay, I'm his disciple. But Guru means, Shishya means Shashan. It's what comes from the word, where Shashan or not that wherever the Shishya gets trained by the Guru. If you see the point where Arjuna accepted Krishna as his Guru, first thing what Krishna did was he chastised Arjuna. Till that time they were friends. But when he accepted himself as a disciple, Krishna immediately said, from when Arjuna you are getting such kind of thoughts like a eunuch, you are a Calabium, he's using the word Calabia, an Arya. All this word Krishna started using to chastise Arjuna. So like that, Diksha is one of the very essential, one of the most important process in our Vaishnava life. And that, as I said, we require a living Guru for getting that initiation. So, what is the example of Diksha is given from the Jiva Goswami tells Bhakti Sandarbha. Divya Jnanam yato dadyat kudyat papas samshaya tasmat diksheti sa prokta diksheshu tattva kovida. So by Diksha, one gradually becomes disinterested in material enjoyment and gradually becomes interested in spiritual life. The importance of Diksha. This change should happen. So Divya Jnanam. So Diksha, what happens? We get Divya Jnana. Divya Jnana, we sing in Guru Puja. The Divya Jnana happens. Give Divya Jnana Jito Dadya, the Guru gives Divya Jnana, and then Puriyat Papas Sanshaya. The Sanshaya happens with the Pap. It is like utilized. Tasma Diksheti Saprokta, Dikshis Tattva Kovida. You have seen many examples, especially in the Europe and America. Many students who come to us from rich and responsible, respectful family quickly lose all interest in material enjoyment and become very eager to enter into spiritual life. Although they come from very wealthy families, many of them accept living conditions that are not very comfortable. Indeed, for Krishna's sake, they are prepared to accept any living condition as long as they can live in the Vaishnavas. So basically, we saw the word Sushrushaya if you see in this particular shloka. Remember? Sushrushaya. So one of the meaning of Sushrushaya is continuous process. It's a continuous process of hearing and serving in full submission to Guru. It's called Sushrushaya. Continuous process of hearing and serving in full submission to Guru is called Sushrushaya. The more we do this, the more Sushrushaya happens, and then with that more Sushrushaya can actually take shelter. Now, as we go ahead in the purport, Prabhupada is making a point. Who can take Diksha? We saw how Diksha is important. Purpose of Diksha we saw. Who can take Diksha? Prabhupada said the first reason who can take Diksha, first person. When other I can say who can take Diksha or when one should take Diksha. In fact, I can say like that. When one becomes so disinterested in material enjoyment, he becomes fit for initiation by the spiritual master. What is the first thing when one can take Diksha? Is one becomes disinterested in material enjoyment. Such a person becomes fit for initiation by spiritual master. Prabhupada is saying. Second reason Prabhupada is giving when one can take Diksha. When a person is serious about accepting Diksha, he must be prepared to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. What is the first thing we saw?
Disinterested in material enjoyment.
The second one Prabhupada is saying, who is prepared to follow principle of austerity, celibacy, and control of mind and body. Now, this when Prabhupada is saying celibacy doesn't mean that no, you should become brahmacharis. That's what I'm meaning here. If you see, even Krishna says in Gita that I am not sex slave, which is according to the scriptures. So, when this term is sometimes used as a grahastha brahmacharis, they may get into that activity, but with the purpose of just getting the progeny that is allowed by the scriptures. The celibacy is about apparently so-called, recreation. Someone who takes sex life as a recreation for such people. That context that has been discussed. So austerity, celibacy, control of mind and body. He goes on saying, so we saw the two reasons till now. First is disinterested in material enjoyment. Second is ready to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of mind and body. And now let's go ahead. Prabhupada continues saying, if one is so prepared and desire of receiving spiritual enlightenment, Divyanyan, he is fit to for being initiated. Divyanyan is technically called Tad Vijnanartham. Tad Vijnana, or knowledge about absolute truth. Tad Vijnanartham sa gurum evavi gachet. Now Prabhupada gives a third reason why one should, when one should get Diksha, one should take Diksha. When one is interested in transcendental subject matter of the absolute truth, he should be initiated. So we're reading by trying to get knowledge from Prabhupada's books. When someone has become serious in learning more and more about spirituality, the very fact that all of you are taking into this course of Bhakti Shastri indicates that you want to become serious in or you become interested in a transcendental subject matter. That's why you are taking these courses. Such a person should be approached as a spiritual master, and take Diksha. And also one more thing which is said is why one should, or whether when one should take Diksha is Tasmat Gurum Prapadeta Jigyasu Shreyam Uttamam. When we are actually interested in transcendental science of absolute truth. So what is the fourth reason now? Spiritual inquiries. First one was disinterested in material enjoyment. The second one was serious about one is ready to practice austerity, celibacy, and control of the mind and body. Third is interested in the subject matter, transcendental subject matter. And the fourth one is yes, spiritual inquiries. One should inquire about spiritual life. Such a person should actually accept Diksha. This is a situation when we should accept Diksha. Just a minute. Now comes another golden statement by Prabhupada. One should not accept a spiritual master without following his instructions. Please try to process this statement. It's a very important statement. We don't take Diksha because my counsel is telling me to take Diksha from that person. We don't take Diksha because, okay, I like the way he sings. I like the way he dances. That doesn't become the reason for us to take Diksha. Or maybe he put a garland on my neck. That's why I had to take Diksha. No. Till the time we want to follow the instruction, then we should take Diksha. Till the time his Vani, what are his words, his lectures, his example should have a strong impact on our consciousness. And we should feel the need to follow. Then this is the time when actually we should take Diksha. This is mentioned here like that. Nor should one accept a spiritual master just. Now, these 3 points he'll be telling when one should not accept Diksha, when one should not go for Diksha. First thing is, if you're not going to follow instructions. Second thing he's saying is, just to make a fashionable show of spiritual life. It's a matter of, prestige. Now, people are calling, I have a title of Das or Devi Dasi, whatever. It's a norm of our society. Someone may say, when you go, so what's your name? So my name is Yugal Sham Das. It's like something of a pride in a moment. Someone say, okay, what's your name? My name is Bhakta Ajay. Sometimes you feel okay if I forgetting some social prestige in the moment in our sampradaya, maybe if I that's why I should take Diksha. That's not a reason why we take Diksha. Counterproper. It's not a fashionable show to have a title of Dev Das or Devi Dasi. So one must be jigyasu, very much inquisitive to learn from the bona fide spiritual master. The inquiries one makes should strictly pertain to transcendental science. One should not go to Guru and say, oh, my Guru, what job I should take, where I should invest my money. These questions are not supposed to be asked to our Guru. It should be spiritual inquiries only, Prabhupada is saying. The word Uttamam refers to that which is above material knowledge. Tama means the darkness of the material world, and Ut means transcendental. Generally, people are very much interested in inquiring about mundane subject matters. But when one has lost such interest and is simply interested in the transcendental subject matters, he is quite fit for being initiated. Again, Prabhupada giving more qualifications for being initiated. Later, he adding to that, when one is actually initiated by the bona fide spiritual master, and when he seriously engages in the service of the Lord, he should be accepted as Madhyam Adhikari. Next powerful statement by Prabhupada. The chanting of the holy names of Krishna is so sublime that if one chants the Hare Krishna Mahamantra offenselessly, carefully avoiding the 10 offenses, he can certainly be gradually elevated to the point of understanding that there is no difference between the holy name of the Lord and the Lord himself. The power and potency of chanting without offenses. Sometimes we should sit and do an analysis. Bhakti Thakur used to say that every Ekadashi we should have a self-introspection and see how my japa, how my spiritual life is going on. And then whether I'm able to chant offenselessly. Because to chant with offenses, that will take us nowhere. Not make any spiritual progress. One who has reached such an understanding should be very much respected by neophyte devotees. One should know for certain that without chanting the holy names of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Another punch by Prabhupada. And repeat, one should know for certain that without chanting the holy names of the Lord offenselessly, one cannot be a proper candidate for advancement in Krishna consciousness. Now, like we saw, this different levels of Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. One of the ways we saw differentiation was knowledge. Now, here onwards, about Shraddha, faith, another level what we describe, the way these three categories are made. So from CC Madhya Leela 22.69, Yahara Kromala Shraddha Se Kanishta Jana Krame Krame Te Ho Bhakta Haive Uttama. For whose faith is soft and pliable, it's called neophyte. But by gradually following the process, he will rise to the platform of first class devotee. Everyone begins his devotional service from the neophyte stage. But if one is properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of Harinam, he is elevated step by step to the highest platform of Uttama Adhikari. Prabhupada is saying how one becomes Uttama Adhikari by properly finishes chanting the prescribed number of rounds of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That means for all of us, it's very essential that we don't keep our rounds pending. ऐसा नहीं आज करे सो कल करे सो परसों, है ना। अगर जिंदगी में काफी अगर हमारे जीवन में बहुत सारे वर्ष पड़े, वर्षों, ऐसा नहीं, वी डोंट पोस्टपोन अ चैंटिंग, है ना। इट्स अ वेरी पथेटिक कंडीशन व्हेन समवन इज, एक बार एक दो ड्यूटीज बात कर रहे थे, तो आई हर्ड अ स्टोरी इन लेक्चर। तो स्कोर क्या है प्रभु आपका? प्रभु मेरा 160 स्कोर है। तो बोला अच्छा, मेरा तो 120 स्कोर है। देन समवन आस्क्ड एक्चुअली स्कोर क्या है? वो बोले हमारे 120 राउंड पेंडिंग है अब तक, जो ये कवर करना है ना। दिन हर दिन का कुछ कुछ ऐड हो के 120 काउंट हो गया है, और वी हैव टू कवर इट। तो ऐसा नहीं होता है। वी टेक वाव चैंटिंग 16 राउंड्स डेली, initiate or not initiate, we should daily, we have to make sure without fail. That means even we may have to sometime cut down our sleep, sometimes cut down our prasad at times. So whatever is required, moreover if you are more regulated, like you chant your rounds in morning time for example, as early as possible, then it becomes more easy. The whole day becomes more available. So that requires a proper schedule for our own sense, sleeping on time, and then getting up on time, planning our japa. And I do understand, appreciate that many sometimes when some devotees are working outside, the timings are sometimes very flexible. Flexible in the sense that sometimes they have to go early in the morning. So plan our japa accordingly. We can plan the japa accordingly so that at least we can complete the prescribed number of rounds. Was saying the Krishna conscious movement prescribes 16 rounds daily because people in the Western countries cannot concentrate chanting on the beats. So basically, one of our sannyasis was telling that the 16 rounds instruction of Prabhupada is for actually Westerners. For Indians, they should be able to chant more rounds. And gradually should try to improve or increase their rounds also. Therefore, the minimum number of rounds is prescribed. However, Srila Bhakti Thakur used to say that unless one chants at least 64 rounds of japa, 100,000 names, he is considered fallen, patit. So based on this definition of Bhakti Thakur, all of us were actually patit. That means at least on Ekadashi days, we can chant some 25 rounds or 30, whatever is possible. Something extra. एक ड्यूटी बोल रहे थे कि हमारा असली प्रेम चालू होता 17वीं माला से, हमारा प्रेम चालू होता है, प्रेम माला बोलते कभी कभी उस So this question was asked to once. Radha Maharaj commented on that. Some devotees say that from 17th round your prem mala begins. But Maharaj बोल रहे थे, बहुत अच्छा अंडरस्टैंड दिया महाराज ने। महाराज बोले कि एक्चुअली प्रेम माला शुड बिगिन फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट राउंड। हर एक माला उसको आपको प्रेम से करना चाहिए। ऐसा नहीं कि 17वीं माला में प्रेम से करूंगा, पहला वाला बस उसको करके समाऊं, एक मशीन की तरह, हैक्सॉ की मशीन की तरह उसको कम कम घुमा दे पूरा गोल। तो घुमाना हमारा पर्पस नहीं, हमारा चाहिए to attentively chant Hare Krishna so that we can, the purpose of chanting Hare Krishna is to actually to chant more Hare Krishna. जिस दिन जब होने का हमको लगता है यार मैं बस 16 माला किया और माला करना चाहिए मैंने, that means that day we have really chanted. और कभी हमको लगता है कि यार अभी कब 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 खत्म होगा, बार बार 10 बार निकल के देखते हैं माला पर, अभी गुरुमणि आ ही नहीं रहा है, पता नहीं कहाँ घूम गया, है ना। उसको ढूंढते रहते हैं मंदिर, कहाँ गया, कहाँ छुपा तो नहीं है गुरुमणि, आ ही नहीं रहा है, टाइम तो हो गया, घड़ी के सब 7 मिनट में होना चाहिए, 8-9 मिनट हो गए लेकिन आ ही नहीं रहा है। ये कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि हाथ को मक्खन लगाया तो सबसे ज्यादा माला होती है। कभी कभी ऐसा लगता है कि एक एक माला, एक एक मणि, एक मण की तरह बन जाता है। ये सब होगा, बट वी हैव टू जस्ट समहाउ एज अ साधना भक्ति, वी हैव टू स्ट्रांगली कम बैक एंड अंडरस्टैंड, सी वी आर नॉट टोल्ड टू चैंट 64 राउंड्स, 16 ही माला करना है। उसमें हमको नानी याद आती है। 64 अगर रहता था आज तो हम तो पता नहीं क्या होता था। हम में से कितने लोग रेडी होते भक्त बनने के लिए। समाविया यार भगवान इज मर्सीफुल, यानी 16 में बोला एटलीस्ट 16 के ऊपर थोड़ा सा करना चाहिए। दैट्स द पॉइंट। And because of your hectic life, it is difficult to at least chant 16 rounds on Ekadashi days, and other days we chant some extra rounds whenever we get time, on festival days specifically. According to his calculation, practically every one of us is fallen. But because we are trying to serve Supreme Lord with all seriousness and without duplicity, we can expect the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is famous as Patita Pavan, the deliverer of the fallen. When Satyaraj Khan, a great devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, asked the Lord how a Vaishnava could be recognized, the Lord said, प्रभु करे प्रभु कहे यार मुखे सुनिए एक बार कृष्ण नाम सही पूज्य श्रेष्ठ सभाकार. If one hears a person say even once the word Krishna, that person should be accepted as the best man out of the common group. And then next year again when Satyaraj Khan came and asked, so Mahaprabhu, who can be so seen devotee? Mahaprabhu gave next answer. अतएव यार मुखे एक कृष्ण नाम सेइत वैष्णव करिह तार सम्मान. One who's interested in chanting the holy names of Krishna and or who by practice likes to chant Krishna's name should be accepted as a Vaishnava and offer respect as such, at least within one's mind. Then Prabhupada gives example of Beatles by saying one of our friends, a famous English musician, that is Beatles from UK, has become attracted to the chanting holy names of Krishna, and even in his records, he has several times mentioned the holy names of Krishna. At his home, he offers respect to the pictures of Krishna and also to the preachers of Krishna consciousness. In all regards, he has a very high estimation of Krishna's name and Krishna's activities. Therefore, we offer respect to him without reservation. Because the Guru is saying that we should offer respect to such a disciple. For we are actually seeing that this gentleman is advancing gradually in Krishna consciousness. Such person should always be shown respect. Then Prabhupada concludes the whole thing saying, the conclusion is that anyone who's trying to advance in Krishna consciousness by regularly chanting the holy name should always be respected by Vaishnavas. On the other hand, we have witnessed that some of our contemporaries who are supposed to be great preachers have gradually fallen into the material conception of life because they have failed to chant the holy names of the Lord. So when someone fails to chant the holy names of the Lord, Prabhupada is directly saying such a person is going to fall in the material conception of life. So we should have a proper program for our sadhana, or reading, hearing, chanting, so that our spiritual life goes very smoothly. While giving instructions, Sanatana Goswami Lord Chaitanya also divided the devotions into three categories. Shastra Yukti Nahi Jane, Dridha Saddhavana, Madhyamadikari Sei Mahabhagyavana. A person whose conclusive knowledge of the Shastras is not very strong, but who has developed a firm faith in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and who is understand undeterred in the execution of the prescribed devotional service, such should be considered a Madhyamadikari. Such a person is very fortunate. A Madhyamadikari is a Shraddhavan, a staunchly faithful person, and he is actually a candidate for further advancement in devotional service. Again, Chaitanya Charitamrita again gives a definition for Madhyamadikari. Shraddhavana jana hai bhakti adhikari uttama madhyama kanishta shraddhanusari. Remember we saw this categorization based on the faith, correct? So here Chaitanya Charitamrita is telling us how based on Shraddhavan, on the faith, they have these three categories. And then he's defining what is Shraddha. Shraddha shabde vishwasa ka hai, shudrudha nishchay, Krishna bhakti kaila sarva karma krita hai. By rendering transmission service to Krishna, one automatically performs all subsidiary activities. Shraddha shabde vishwasa ka hai, shudrudha nishchay, Krishna bhakti kaile sarva karma krita hai. The faith that by doing Krishna bhakti, I need not to do anything else. That is called actually Shraddha. That is called as Sudhrudha Nishchaya, with having practicing with Sudhrudha Nishchaya, with Vishwasa. What is Vishwasa? Only Krishna, and Krishna, we don't do Krishna itara much. It's confident, firm faith, favorable to the discharge of devotional service is called Shraddha. Shraddha, faith in Krishna, in the beginning of Krishna consciousness. Faith means strong faith. Whenever Prabhupada uses the word Shraddha, he's saying Drudha Shraddha. Which devotee means, Prabhupada used to say, devotee means pure devotee. Similarly, Shraddha means Shuddhuda Shraddha, or a strong faith. The words of Bhagavad Gita are authoritative instruction of the faithful men, and who, whatever Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, they accept it as it is without interpretation. That is why Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita after hearing Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna told Krishna, Sarvam etat etam manye, yan mam vadashi Keshava. O Keshava, totally accept as truth all that you have told me. This is the correct way of understanding Bhagavad Gita. And this is called as Shraddha. It is not that one accepts a portion of Bhagavad Gita according to his own whimsical interpretation and then rejects another portion. This is not Shraddha. Shraddha means accepting instruction of Bhagavad Gita in the totality, completely accepting, yes, completely. Little ahead, when one becomes completely faithful in regards to this instruction, just a minute. Haribol. Yes. So when one becomes completely faithful in regards to this instruction, one's strong faith becomes the basis for advancement spiritual life. That means what? Simply by having that strong faith, one can actually advance in Krishna consciousness. And that strong faith, ऐसा नहीं कि भाई अपने आप आ जाता है. That for that you require a scriptural basis. Shastriya Shraddha is something I wish I had talked before. From that you can develop a strong faith, and by the strong faith you can practice or you can advance in Krishna consciousness. Okay. Can someone read from here further? When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
When one
Hare
fully
Krishna.
engages in
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Anyone can start.
When one fully engages in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he gradually realizes his own spiritual identity. Unless one faithfully chants the Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna does not reveal himself. Sevun mukhe hi jivado swayam eva spurati adaha. We cannot realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead by any artificial means. We must engage faithfully in the service of the Lord. Such service begins with the tongue, Sevun mukhe hi jivado, which means that we should always chant the holy names of the Lord and accept Krishna Prasad. We should not chant or accept anything else. When this process is faithfully followed, the Supreme Lord reveals himself to the devotee. When a person realizes himself to be an eternal servitor of Krishna, he loses interest in everything but Krishna's service, always thinking of Krishna, devising means by which to spread the holy names of Krishna. He understands that his only business is in spreading the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. Such a person is to be recognized as an Uttamadhikari, and his association should be immediately accepted according to the 6 processes, Dadati, Pratigranati, etc. Indeed, the advanced Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava devotee should be accepted as a spiritual master. Everything one possesses should be offered to him, for it is enjoined that one should deliver whatever he has to the spiritual master. The brahmachari in particular is supposed to beg alms from others and offer them to the spiritual master. However, one should not imitate the behavior of an advanced devotee or Mahabhagavata without being self-realized, for by such imitation one will eventually become degraded.
Continue, Joshi.
Yes, Prabhu. Continue.
Yeah.
In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be
So
intelligent.
now, just a minute, Joshi.
Yes, sir.
Now in this thing, this is a summary of the entire verse. There are 5 points in this discussion of what is going to come. In last paragraph of this instruction, Prabhupada is giving the entire summary of the this entire discussion what we had. Yes, Prabhu, the first one in this verse.
In this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advises the devotee to be intelligent enough to distinguish between the Kanishta Adhikari, Madhyam Adhikari, and Uttama Adhikari. The devotee should also know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on a higher platform. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given some practical hints to the effect that an Uttama Adhikari Vaishnava can be recognized by his ability to convert many fallen souls to Vaishnavism. One should not become a spiritual master unless he has attained the platform of Uttama Adhikari. A neophyte Vaishnava or a Vaishnava situated on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciples must be on the same platform, and it should be understood that they cannot advance very well toward the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept an Uttama Adhikari as a spiritual master.
Yeah. The five things. First one he's saying is one should be intelligent enough to distinguish between the three categories. First one. What the second thing is saying? Know his own position and should not try to imitate a devotee situated on the higher platform. No imitation. Correct? First one is what? First one is differentiate करते आना चाहिए. Second में क्या है? Know your position and don't imitate. Number three, one should not become a spiritual master unless he is attained the platform of Uttam Adhikari. This is very important. See, one can raise the person max to his own level, what he is. Suppose I am at Madhyam Adhikari, suppose. So I can raise my disciple only up to level of Madhyam Adhikari only. उसके आगे advancement करने के लिए he will need someone else. I can't help him. That's the meaning here is. A neophyte Vaishnava or Vaishnava shooter on the intermediate platform can also accept disciples, but such disciple must be on the same platform. And it should be understood that they cannot advance very well towards the ultimate goal of life under his insufficient guidance. That means he requires a better guidance in that case. Therefore, a disciple should be careful to accept a Uttam Adhikari spiritual master. Does it making sense, Prabhu? Prabhu's Matais?
Absolutely, Prabhu.
So it's not a affair of just okay, fine, now I got a dictionary, I took in this, sometimes I made a guru. मैंने गुरु बनाया. जैसे महाराष्ट्र में there are people say मैंने गुरु किया. अरे गुरु किया मतलब वो क्या थोड़ी आपका पेट एनिमल की उसको बांध के रखा आपने, मैंने गुरु किया इसको. It's a very serious thing from disciples' point of view and from the guru's point of view also, both sides. It's a serious affair. It's a serious business in both of them. So let us see. Can you allow me to share? Can show the Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Bhajan Lalasa, and we'll also see Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's commentary. Is this visible, Bruce?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, so now where we are? We are on Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. 1 to 7 text. Now we are on the text number 5, so it's still in the where we following the rules and regulations oneself in devotional service according to Sadhu Guru Shastra. You see the small baby there, how he's trying to gradually walk. In the second half is the Raganoga Bhakti, Ragana Sadhana Bhakti. Then later parts, as I said, it's more of a theory for us. These first 7 shlokas will be more relevant for practice. Later 3 will be like, we achieve that. And this is a chart which I'm going to share with all of you also. How different according to the ladder, Vaidhi Sadhana, Raganoga, Bhava Prem, and then there is Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Vijana Kriya, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava Prem. All this are mentioned here. So I'll share this chat also. Yeah. Hari He Sangha Dosha Shunya Dikshita Adikshita Yadi Tava Nama Gaya.
हरि है संग दोष शून्य दीक्षिता दीक्षित यदि तव नाम गाय
मानसे आदर करिवे ताहारे जानि निज जनताय.
मानसे आधार करिब ताहारे जानि निज जनताय
दीक्षित या भजे तू या पद ताहारे प्रणति करी।
दीक्षित हैया भजतु या पद ताहारे प्रणति करी।
अनन्य भजने विज्ञ ये जन, ताहारे सेविब्य हरि।
अनन्य भजने विज्ञ ये जन ताहारे सेवी बहरी।
सर्वे भूते सम ये भक्ते रमति, ताहार दर्शने मानी।
सर्वभूते सम ये भक्ते रमति ताहार दर्शने मानी।
आपना के धन्य से संग पाइया, चरितार्थ हैलु जानी।
अपना के धन्य से संग पाइया चारितार्थ हैलो जानी।
निष्कपटमति वैष्णवेर प्रति, ये धर्म कबे पाब।
निष्क निष्कपटमति वैष्णवेर प्रति ए धर्म कबे पाब।
कबे ये संसार सिंधु पार हय, तव व्रज पुरे याब।
कबे ए संसार सिंधु पार हये तव व्रज पुरे आब।
So very nice song. He's saying, Sangha dosha shunya, dikshita adikshita. Whether is initiated or yet to be initiated. If those who are free from bad association, then sing your name, then I will honor them within my heart, knowing them to be your own. Nija jana taya. Jani by knowing, they are your, ये आपके निज जन है ना, माना से आदर है. So I offer them respect from within my heart, within my mind. Dikshita hayya, so once they get initiated, bhaje to ya pada, and they are worshipping you, serving you. Tahara pranati kari, offering obeisances to you. Ananya bhajane vigya jana tahara seve hari. I'll offer obeisances to anyone who has been initiated by and serves your feet. And I'll serve anyone who's expert in exclusive bhajan o Hari. Bhakti Thakur saying. Sarve bhuta sama. What is sarve bhuta sama?
Equal to all.
Equipoised. Ye bhaktera mati, and that is his mati, that is his consciousness. Tahara darshane mani. I'll consider myself fortunate to meet a devotee who is equally disposed towards all beings. Apana ke dhanya se sangha paiya. I'll be so fortunate. I'll be successful. Charitartha hailu jani. I'll think by my charitartha, my existence, everything is done simply by getting that sangha, that association. And then how such a person's consciousness is that? And he's asking when I'll become like that. Nishkapata mati. When I'll become nishkapata. Sometimes yes. If you see there is that type of krupa also there nishkapata krupa, sakapata krupa. But nishkapata means I don't have any kapatata, any kind of inside and outside I'm same. I'm nishkapata. My mati nishkapata. And towards whom? Towards the devotees. Vaishnava prati. Ye dharma kavi pava. When I'll attain such a disposition towards devotees, that I'll become nishkapat towards them. I'll not become envious seeing their wonderful attributes. I'll be happy to see them advancing in Krishna consciousness. When that will happen? Kabhe samsara sindhu parahaya. When will I cross over this ocean of mortal existence and enter your Brajapuri? When I'm going to enter Vrindavan, your abode of Braja. That is possible only when you have Nishkapata Mati. Then only we can actually enter this kingdom of God. Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur's Upadeshamrita Bhasha. कृष्ण सह कृष्ण नाम अभिन्न जानिया, अप्राकृत एकमात्र साधन मानिया.
कृष्ण सह कृष्ण नाम अभिन्न जानिया अप्रकट अप्रकृत एकमात्र साधन मानिया
ये नाम लय नामे दीक्षित हैया आदरे करीबे मने स्वगोष्ठी जानिया
ये नाम लय नाम दीक्षित हैया आदर करीबे मने स्वगोष्ठी जानिया
नामेर भजन ये कृष्ण सेवा करे अप्राकृत व्रजेवासी सर्वदा अंतरे
नामेर भजन ये कृष्ण सेवा करे अप्रकृत व्रजे वासी सर्वदा अंतरे
मध्यम वैष्णव जानी धर तार पाय अनुगत्य कर तार मने आर काय
मध्यम वैष्णव जानी धार तार पाय अनुगत्य कर तार मने अर नाय अरे काय
नामेर भजन ये स्वरूप लाभिया अन्य वस्तु नाही देखे कृष्ण तेज ते यागिया
नामेर भजन ये स्वरूप लाभिया अन्य वस्तु नाई देखे कृष्ण ते यागिया
कृष्णेतर संबंध ना पाइया जगते सर्व जने समबुद्धि कर कृष्ण व्रते
कृष्ण तर संबंधन पाइया जगते सर्वजने समबुद्धि करे कृष्ण व्रते
तादृश भजन विज्ञ जानिया अभिष्ट काया मनोवाक्य सेवा हईया निविष्ट
तादृश भजन विज्ञे जानिया अभिष्ट काय मनो वाक्य सेवा हय निविष्ट
शुश्रूषा गरिबे तारे सर्वत्व भावते कृष्णेर चरण लाभ हयता हायते
शुश्रू
शुश्रूषा
शुश्रूषा करीबे तारे सर्वतो भाविते कृष्णेर चरण लाभ हयता हयते
So he's saying Krishna saha Krishna nama abhinna janiya. That Krishna and Krishna name are not different. Those who know that Krishna to be not different from the holy name exclusively follow transcendental sadhana. Aprakrita ekamatra, he is aprakrita ekamatra sadhana vanya. Yai nama laya nama dikshita hayya. And then while chanting that holy names, he accepts initiation, diksha. Adara karibe, offer respect to him. Mane swagoshti janiya. Considering that he's a member of one's own family, that is Vaishnava family, then one should offer him respect. Adara. नामाना भजन है यही कृष्ण सेवा करे अप्राकृत व्रजवासी सर्वदा अंतरे those who serve Krishna through nama bhajan will always living in the spiritual vraja internally, not only externally, internally in our consciousness. Such persons are known to be Madhyam Vaishnavas. And Madhyama Vaishnava jani dhara tar pai. And such a person, you should take the hold of the lotus feet and anugatya kara, become subservient to them, become the servant, become the followers. Anugatya kara tara mane arakaya. नामेरा भजन यही स्वरूप लभिया अन्य वस्तु नाही देखे कृष्ण तेजैया those who attain their swarupa through nama bhajan see nothing but Krishna in all dealing. They see Krishna everywhere. That means they become uttamadhikaris. Till now they are madhyamadhikaris. कृष्ण तरह संबंध ना पाइये जगते सर्व जने समबुद्धि करे कृष्ण व्रते. They accept nothing in this world which is unrelated to Krishna, and they consider all living entities to be equally engaged in serving Krishna, directly or indirectly. तादृश भजन विज्ञ जानिया अभिष्ट kaya mano vakya seva hayya nivishta. One should desire to know such expert in bhajan and attentively serve them with thought, word, and deed. And for such a person, sushrusha karibe. Do the sushrusha. We saw the meaning of sushrusha already. Serve them, hear from them, associate with them. Sushrusha karibe tare sarvato bhavite. Krishna charana labhe hayata bhavite. And by doing so, you are going to for sure, you should be confident that you are going to for sure attain Krishna charana one day. That's a blessing of serving such a powerful Vaishnavas. So, any thoughts, any questions, any discussions on this topic? Author Jayendra, you want to say something?
No, Prabhu, this was wonderful. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Shrikant, do you have some thoughts or?
No problem. Thank you so much.
Prabhu, especially what you said about Krishna Karya Atma Sama, that was amazing, Prabhu. Really, it was so inspiring. Thank you, Prabhu.
Please call this mercy of Srila Prabhupada and all of us that He's given us an opportunity, and obviously our spiritual masters that they're giving us an opportunity where Krishna is going to accept us, or He has accepted us. In fact, I can say. Now let us understand our fortune, and let us share that fortune with others. That's very important. If we just remain happy and satisfied with our own fortune, then the entire other people in this world who are not yet fortunate, they'll never become fortunate. That's why we see one of the reasons, one of the things where he talks about being Samadhikari is when such a person is always engaged consciously, is thinking of how to expand the Krishna conscious movement. Always. We have so many ways and means. Book distribution is one way, and then we have no, so many youths are coming, or no, we have congregational preaching on connecting new people in so ways and means we have at our workplace, at our the place we are staying. So much opportunity we have. That's why we should take all and give parallelly, simultaneously. So one day I'll take, and one day when I'll become Uttam Adhikar, then I'll preach. But Uttam Adhikar generally never preaches. It's a Madhyam Adhikar actually who is one who he has a Prema Maitri Kupa Apeksha Sakuroti Madhyama. That one has to gradually come. And that's why Prabhupada never kept our movement as a we are not a Bhajananandi movement. We are Goshtanandi. Goshtanandi means one who is more eager to preach Krishna consciousness. So we have to be more Krishna conscious ourselves, and in the process make everyone else, gives opportunity to everyone else to get the same fortune what he have received. So tomorrow when we meet, we'll discuss that when such Vaishnavas, Uttam, Madhyam, or even can say even to degree Kanishta, specifically it talks about Uttama, we may see that some of them may be born in low family, or they may have bad complexion, deformed body, diseased or infirm body, but that should not be seen as taken into consideration. It's like a Brahma Dravatam Apagachati. It's like now Ganga Masam na Kalu Budbuda Fena Pankhe. Just like in Ganga, there Fena Pankhe, there is a bubbles and foam in Ganga. Which is not actually that is just a thing, and which sometimes gets sidelined also. So let's not judge these devotees who may be Uttama based on their physical or caste or creed or whatever background. So tomorrow we'll try to cover text number 6 and maybe partly 7. Seven, 8, they are more in context with the holy name, chanting of the holy name. And then text 9 onwards, the descriptions of different places, Govardhan Hill, Govardhan Radhakund, and goes on like that till Radhakund. So we'll end on this point. So tomorrow again you're meeting at 4:30.
4:30. Yes.
Prabhu, first time I'm hearing from you, Prabhu, but it is very inspiring, Prabhu. I hope to get more opportunities.
So it's very easy to speak. Will you please
Very
bless me? All of you
inspiring,
can
brother.
bless me that saying is easy, but more important is to practice and be genuinely be what I am, be internal and external same.
You're living, Prabhu. That is why you're able to speak like this, Prabhu.
No, no.
Without that, you cannot speak. One
Actually,
cannot speak.
my primary audience is not all of you. When I'm speaking, primary audience is my own self. You
That is your
got all of your
inner
additional
development.
things so that you get little bit whatever benefit you can get, but I want to benefit my own self also. Thank you all of you for your association
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
and
Very good.
giving opportunity to discuss such a vital instructions of Rupa Goswami. श्री रूप गोस्वामी पाद की जाय, श्री
जय
देशामृत की जाय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाय, जय गौर प्रेमानंद।
हरि हरे कृष्ण प्रभु, दंड प्रणाम प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।